Repent, for tomorrow you die.
Not one step back.
No retreat, no surrender, no mercy.
Forward, for the Emperor!
Welcome 40k fans. In today's contest, we present to you a battle of the expats as Loyalist faces off versus Loyalist in this 1500 point edition of 40k in 30 minutes. Matthew Beavis brings his amazingly converted Goblin Guard army to face off against Chris Jones and his beautifully painted Dark Angels. This should be a real whole hobby experience as both armies are beautiful and both players are known as true gentleman players.
I do like to castle up, but I'm aware that playing against all bike army and end of table objectives, I'm going to have a bit of trouble. I like to have a few distraction units so that it gives the illusion of charging forward.
I just love Matthew's army. He's running Cadians and Scions today, a trio of Leman Russes and a Spearhead led by an Executioner tank commander, a battalion of 3 infantry squads led by the classic triumvirate of Company Commander, Commissar, and Primaris Psyker, with a Taurox and Basilisk in support. For some deep strike threat, a patrol of Tempestus Scions. This is an absolute classic Imperial Guard setup. Tanks, infantry, and support elements, but taken to a whole new level, as each and every model is a converted goblin of some kind. From the berets on the Scions to even the Goblin Gunners, he has spent countless hours on an absolutely beautiful showpiece, and we are super happy to have it here on the channel.
I've been collecting orcs since about 1996, and this is probably the first non-orc army I'm happy to have owned. Non-orc army. There's no orcs in there.
I highly suggest, folks, that you check out our play on Instagram for shots of these two beautiful armies. They are gorgeously painted, and the time and effort these gentlemen have put into them really shows.
Playing Dark Angels, I've been playing Dark Angels since the dawn of 5th edition, which is why I keep going back to 5th edition rules. But at least I'm not pre-measuring these days. I'm excited. I like to zip around with the bikes, fill their battlefield role. With the Terminators, does deep strike in as best as I can where they're needed. Just get them in for the ground and pound.
Chris is running Double Wing, folks. When was the last time you saw that played? Raven Wing Bikers and Deathwing Terminators. Such an iconic Dark Angels combination. He has an outrider of 3 squads of Raven Wing bikes led by a biker chaplain and Samael himself on Sableclaw. He has a vanguard of 2 squads of Deathwing Terminators and a squad of Deathwing Knights. Coordinating their efforts is a Damocles Rhino and an Interrogator Chaplain in Terminator armor. What an absolute classic army makeup again. It really opposes Matthew's army well, as Chris is fast and maneuverable compared to Matthew's entrenched gun lines. Should make for an intriguing tactical matchup.
I love my army. I got 16,000 points painted and a tattoo.
The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed Chris is wearing a Warhammer Hero t-shirt. He earned that honor for the work he's done with his charity, Food Hammer, a gaming event he's put on since 2011 benefiting local food banks.
I was humbled when friends nominated me for the first round of Warhammer Hero for my work with Food Hammer. I was able to run 2 40k events last year, and the people who came out were just pumped both days, and we raised so much money. It was fantastic, and we're going to do it again this year.
Taking a look at our map here, that Fortress of Redemption is not only fitting, but provides a definite split right down the middle. Chris will have to decide which flank to advance up, and Matthew will still need to set up with the ability to respond to Chris's advance. Both players have some room to hide here as well, so we should see a fairly cagey deployment. Speaking of deployment, today it's Dawn of War, old school, long edge deployment, staring across the table at your opponent. Absolute classic. Our players are playing Resupply Drop out of Chapter Approved 2017. Players will take turns placing 3 objective markers each. However, at the start of turn 3, Player 1 will nominate 3 alpha objectives, and 2 of them will be randomly removed. Player 2 does the same at the top of their turn 3, and these are the only 2 objectives that will be worth victory points at the end of the game. First Blood, Linebreaker, and Slay the Warlord are also in play. At first glance, this mission might favor Matthew's higher model count. However, Chris has so much speed and the ability to deep strike Terminators into position that there really isn't much of an advantage either way. It's really going to come down to which objectives are chosen and how the dice land.
So I always start with my unit that doesn't need any line of sight.
Oh, I know what to kill first. Put my Damocles Command Rhino down here in the corner.
I'll put my command squad in reserve.
I'll put my Deathwing Knights in the sky.
I'll put my Tempestor Prime in the sky.
Chaplain in the sky. Pretty quick deployment phase.
I'll put the Plasma Squad, 10-man, full plasma.
May they all roll ones.
Hopefully.
Samuel's going to start off on that objective right there.
Okay.
In his land speeder.
36 is the key range for my command tank.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put him right in the middle here so he can see as much as possible. Before we go any further, I'm just going to say I have Old Grudges as my Warlord trait.
Okay.
And I'm going to target the Samael. So anything within 6 inches of my Warlord rerolls wound. Blade of Conquest as well, which is quite deadly in combat.
He's going to drive over here and hit me with his sword.
Pretty much.
Excellent.
Deployment looks pretty standard here for Matthew. The guard castle up is a pretty standard tactic. Chris's army moves very fast, so the last thing he would want is to spread out too much and get carved apart or locked down. Chris likewise is deployed somewhat as expected. With his mobility and Matthew's guns placing models out of line of sight as much as possible is a really smart idea. Matthew only has that basilisk to fire indirectly, so Chris doesn't have to worry too much about steel rain falling on his bikers' heads.
And you finish setting up first, you're +1 to the roll off to go first.
Let's roll for first turn.
I will go first. Good luck. Good luck, Chris. Do you want to seize?
I will attempt to sneeze. No, not today.
Okay, Battalion for 5 points, a Spearhead for 1 more, and then 3 for Battle Forged.
So yeah, I just got, the 3 regular, +1 for Vanguard detachment, and 1 for the Outrider detachment. So 5 total. They'll be on soon.
Okay, turn 1. So I'm going to try and get some shots off. So I'm going to move at half distance so I can still shoot twice. So that's 5 inches. I believe, according to 8th edition, I can still see 1 model of your unit with my guns.
Okay. Wow.
All right, I'll move further than the half move, so I'll just shoot once with the turret. I'm going to get out of my transport before it moves with my company commander, so within 3 inches, so that he'll have line of sight to these troops which are going to advance. With an advance roll, 12 inches for the first squad.
Natural sprinters. Like them giggling and hooting and hollering as they're running along.
Imperial Guardsmen. They're well drilled.
Well-drilled grots.
Well-drilled Imperial Guardsmen. Professional grots, yes. Paid in squig. Another 12, wow.
I think the last thing he'd want to do with 2 objectives so close to him already is overcommit and have to stretch, as we won't know until turn 3 which of these objectives are live. Having spent much time setting up his castle, I'm not sure going first is a real advantage here. Personally, I'd rather pull Chris forward and get some shots off against him, but getting to choose the alpha objectives by going first is really important, and that's probably what he's thinking.
So with the movement phase done, I believe I go into the psychic phase now.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Night Shroud on my tank commander. Warp charge of 6. And he perilled.
Oh, he fell in the hole. Does he fall in the hole?
I think he does.
The Psyker is melting his own brain and takes 3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds, so he has 1 wound left.
Oh.
It's pretty much the first roll of the game. It made me laugh out loud, like I never really used psychic powers before, and of course it's going to bite me in the ass. Now, moving on to the shooting phase is where I start my orders. So he's too far to give a second order to that front squad, but he's going to give a 1 order to this squad. And I can see the far Ravenwing squad there with the las cannon.
There's not a ton of targets for him. Chris has done fairly well to mitigate that hellstorm of 4 Leman Russes can unleash.
All right. Come on, 6. No.
3 wounds.
Okay, so 1 biker dies.
The tank commander can do 1 order. So I'm going to order Strike and Shroud. This guy moves so he can only shoot his turret weapon once anyway, so I'm just going to Strike and Shroud, which means he can shoot and pop smoke at the same time. Everything, including the heavy bolter, from this Leman Russ into the far Ravenwing unit. He wounds.
5 up. Oh, that's definitely a 1.
And D3 wounds, 1 wound only. Now the heavy bolter is also shooting at the same squad. 2 hits.
There's 1.
1 wound, -1.
Loves it.
Loves it, perfect. So I'm going to spend a command point to order an additional unit, additional order rather, using this Leman Russ against that squad. So I'm going to use the order where he can reroll the number of dice for his turret weapon. So shooting the turret weapon twice, so 10 shots. So we have 4 wounds at only -2.
Oh, one bites it.
So this is Leman Russ number 1 against the injured Ravenwing. 1 turret shot only, 4 times, 3 hits. So 2 wounds at -2 with cover there.
So 4. He regrets nothing.
And
Oh no, you can't see them.
I know, I can't see them now. So
They have run away.
the Basilisk.
No.
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 D6 shots, but he rolls 2 dice, picks the highest number of shots, and I'm going to attack those bikes there. 6 shots, 4s to hit, so 1 miss.
Ouch.
4 saves at -3 from the Basilisk.
Yeah, one bites it.
D3 wounds. 1 wound only. And that's the end of my turn. Oh, that was frustrating. It is what it is, but
No kills for Matthew and no first blood. Man, that could really come back to haunt him. He's given Chris the opportunity to score that all-important point, and as we've seen before, often if you can score first blood and hold on, it can equate to a win. Let's see what Chris can do in his first turn.
Oh, I really got to tie Matthew's tanks down. So I just got to try and keep them in that place and hope the objectives end up where I need them to be.
Fairly cautious movement here. He still has a lot in deep strike, and it appears he's looking at setting up turn 2 charges rather than overextending immediately. I think this is a smart play. You know, too often players overcommit early, and more often than not, it won't win you the game, but it certainly can lose it for you.
I'm going to take advantage of some cover for the time being.
I think this game is going to hinge on the deep striking units. These 2 bikes can be seen by this Leman Russ. Was that your intent? Or did you want to just tuck them back?
Appreciate that. Yep. And these guys will come around the corner.
Here they come.
First off in the shooting phase, Samuel has 12 shots from his assault cannon.
I'm going to take cover with that front unit.
Okay.
Take cover.
You're on ones because he's the dude.
Take cover, 5+.
So many 5s and 6s.
Great. 2, 4, 6.
6 shots with the twin heavy bolter. 6 wounds.
2 go down.
Wow.
All right, perfect.
Oh, good, because we wanted to leave some for these guys. 16 shots. I'll throw 4 shots from the closest biker into that guy, and then the other 3 will go there. So 3 wounds.
That's a reroll. And
Wow, he's golden.
plinks off the armor.
Okay, so 12 more shots from the other bolt guns. Wounding on 3s,
Yes.
so that's 6 wounds.
5 up. 1, 2, 3. Hit the dirt.
And orbital bombardment.
Here we go.
Chris is using the Damocles Rhino Orbital Barrage ability, nominating a point in the field, and then on a 4-up, doing, I believe it's D3 mortals, and on a 5-up against characters, D3 mortal wounds, as the guns from above rain death below.
So I'd have to, it's a character, right? So 5 up. Oh yes, he's taking, yeah, he's gone. He's dead yet.
First blood from the orbital bombardment.
Huzzah!
He's managed to kill that Primaris Psyker. He needed a 5+ to be able to affect a character with that ability, and he's done so. That is the all-important first blood point for Mr. Jones, and you know that single point can often be the difference maker.
I was lucky in that I was able to hit so many units at once because Matthew had castled all the tanks up in the corner. Being able to get that first blood was it was a real shot in the arm.
So how many grots die? 3.
3.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, that's my shooting.
5.
Oh, blue dots in my eyes.
1 wound from a blue dot. Actually, yellow dots.
Lets go of the handlebars for a second and rolls over a piece of fluff there. And he takes a wound.
My eye.
The goggles do nothing. I am going to try and assault these clowns. Yes, I think I'm in. Sarge gets first touch with his power fist. No, on 4s. Yeah, I'll waste a command point. That didn't happen anyway. Okay, so the other 3 attacks. Yes, 2 of them hit.
1 dies. So now I do my morale. So he started at 10. 6-6, he's gone. Passes, yep.
It's good. Great, meat shields, yay!
Leadership worked out.
Oh, did it?
We'll see. It's all part of your cunning plan.
Not a ton in that first turn. Chris has positioned himself well here, and he's set up some turn 2 charges. Matthew is still stalwartly holding that gun line, and turn 2, we should really start to see some ordnance fly. Let's see what Matthew's got up his sleeve for his second turn.
So I'm falling back out of combat. They can't shoot.
During his movement, it looks like he's really trying to maintain the integrity of his castle. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, as it's unlikely, but possible the objectives could be out of his reach if he doesn't at least start to move up a little bit.
And that will be the main movement. At the end of my movement phase, bring on reserves. Do I want to bring things in? You've got a lot of Terminators coming in. Deep striking the plasma scions. At this stage, we don't know where the objectives are going to be, so I think putting them in center, given their low mobility, was an obvious choice. And then I'll also place the melter guns over here.
Okay, good placement.
I'm also going to put down Tempesta Prime. He has an order that allows me to reroll wounds against vehicles. And I have the opportunity to put down the last squad. I'm going to put them here to give an extra bubble against your reinforcements.
A flag.
Planting my flag on your
Hey,
fortress.
get off my lawn.
Damn kids. I think that's start of the shooting phase is orders. And order these guys to get back in the fight, which allows them to shoot even though they fell back. And they're going to shoot at their attackers. 2 wounds.
Oh, Jesus, tonight.
I've got 1 order. I will bring it down.
Okay.
The plasma guns against him.
Looks like he's using his own deep strikers to mitigate some of Chris's incoming units. You know, that's not a bad idea. If he's got them in cover, those scions can be hard to shift out, and their guns are good.
4 plasma shots, 2 wounds at -3.
Saved 1.
2 damage.
2 damage, so he's down to 5.
Roll 2 dice, pick the highest for number of shots.
No!
Can I buy these dice off you
No.
when I'm done? Yeah. 3 saves at -3.
3 go through. Ouch, that's harsh.
4 melter guns.
Okay.
No bonuses, just flat out 3s to hit.
Killing those bikers is really going to slow Chris's advance, but he still has his Deathwing to arrive. He is down to 5 command points though, so it remains to be seen what Chris can do on his second turn.
This is really nice playing on a nice table against nice models.
It is.
I'm saying this before I remove half of them.
Okay. Wow.
Chris is really taking his time on setup here. You know, he's got to think about this. He's got to be able to pin his opponent as deep as possible in order to have the best chance to capitalize on the live objective next turn.
Before I put the second squad down, I'm going to spend 2 command points for Deathwing Assault on these. These guys will get to shoot now.
And they'll be able to score the objective from there too.
Yep.
It's an interesting choice where he's dropped those Terminators. You know, I would have thought he would have chosen that copse of trees in the bottom middle, maybe to charge in and tie those Leman Russes up so that they wouldn't be able to shoot back at him. I just hope leaving that powerful an offensive unit in such a defensive placing doesn't cost him points here.
So using the Deathwing Assault stratagem, these guys will get to fire now. Oh, target-rich environment, I love it. 6 shots into those guys, 4 shots into these guys, and then 4 shots over there.
Yes. So saves on the Tempesta Prime.
Oh! So the remaining 4 shots are over there. So they all hit, and they all wound.
5 up. 3 down.
He is
Just
doing
the
work.
sergeant and the heavy weapon team.
So shooting phase, I'm going to go over here and try and do some damage to this Leman Russ with the Raven Wing Biker. Rolling on, hitting on 3. Yes, but
4
strength
plus
8.
Strength 8, toughness 8.
I'm going to spend that. Yes!
That's what you want.
5 damage with that Melta. That's a good use of a command point. It's only leaving him down to 1 command point left, but that is a really big roll.
Samuel is going to, so he will fire his heavy bolter into the squad then.
2 die. And we have Plasma and Sergeant remaining.
Throw 12 assault cannon shots at them. 11 hits, AP 1, 9.
9 saves. 1 guy beats it.
Wow. Chaplain's like, oh, it's my turn. He will shoot his bolt guns into the Scion squad. All the 1s today, 2 wounds.
3 plus. 1 guy.
Shooting phase, I'll come back to the Terminators over here. He's going to try and finish these guys off. 2 of the Storm Bolters will try and finish him off. All the Terminators are going to try and shoot these guys, shoot the guys on the landing pad, the Scions. So the assault cannon, 6 shots. They moved, so on 4s. Oh my word! 1 hit.
That's enough?
That's enough.
Nope. Ducks behind cover.
Samuel's going to try and charge him. Try and charge the Tempestus Prime. Oh! No, I'm not going to waste a command point on that. I will charge that tanker
Okay.
with this biker.
Overwatch. No wounds.
No wounds. So, oh yeah, he makes it, yeah. See if the chaplain can get in. Oh, the chaplain's in.
He loves it.
6? No. Drive over me. No driving over me today. The chaplain gets 3 attacks. 3 hits. No!
Nothing.
Never mind. That's okay. I tied him up. I think I'm good. It's
I'm going to check my morale. So leadership 7, lost 3. So 2 die, 2 models die, they're gone. This guy remaining, he lost 9, so
yes, he did.
He's definitely out of here.
He's definitely dead.
And our score is still 1-0, with Chris down to 1 command point and Matthew with 5 remaining. This is the turn we're going to see which objectives are going to be live, and it's a big one, as Matthew needs to choose 3 objectives, and only 1 of those are going to be an actual live objective. Looks like Matthew has nominated his 3 alpha objectives here.
Whatever I roll remains, the other 2 disappear. 2. So that one stays.
That one remains.
I've got my work cut out for me. Deathwings are doing their own dance now, but I'm going to struggle to get to that objective. This infantry squad will embark inside the Taurox. So I have line of sight now to the bikes. These guys are going to have a slugfest. Move 6. I'll advance him. 4.
You're worrying those Terminators.
Just hopefully scream at them so they run away. Advance. Cover. And make another little bubble for your knights to not come in that area. Use the order of pound him to dust against the Terminators to re-roll the number of turret shots. So 4 wounds at -2.
So, yep.
So 3 of the volley guns from the command squad. So I guess all 3 will have to go, the whole squad will have to go into the melter gun guy.
Yes.
That's enough to tickle him.
Enough to, tingle. 4 saves, 5 up. No, he's very dead.
Investor Prime, he's going to throw a crack grenade Hits, strength 6.
Okay, toughness 5. That's
Wounds.
a wound. And he's good.
So,
the
Leman Russ with the las cannon will shoot the remaining 3 bikes. 4 shots only.
Okay.
Only 1 wound.
Oh no.
-2.
It's a 4-up. So
D3 wounds.
D3.
Just 1 only. So the las cannon's going to try and finish him off and misses.
So 3-ups. Here we go. Oh dear.
The basilisk into the bikes.
Okay.
3 shots.
3 shots. Okay.
3 guys, 3 shots. Hit. 2 hit. 2
Oh.
wound. 1. Wow. All right. Well, 2 wounds each. The one with 1 wound is gone.
Yeah.
And that's my turn. And now you get to roll to see which objective remains.
1
No.
remains.
Now the battle is on.
Oh, that is unlucky for Matthew. Both objectives are effectively in Chris's own zone. What a fortunate turn of events. That's really big for Chris. Matthew's army is not designed to press downfield like Chris's is, and having both objectives in effectively his table half is going to make Matthew's job very, very difficult.
I was on the back foot for some of it when I was losing units quite quickly. But with the die roll going my way on my turn 3 for objectives disappearing, that really turned the tide.
It really looks like this is Chris's game to lose now, as he has the upper hand. I think if Matthew had it to do over, he may have pressed forward a little bit sooner, as Chris has got him pinned pretty well here, and it's going to be difficult for him to get to those objectives.
I got 4 hits from the chaplain on here. Unlucky, sir. Samael is going to throw his assault cannon at this guy. Wow, 6 1s to wound.
4+ save.
So
4+ even with the cover. It's cocked.
wow, he takes 1 wound. I'm just like, what is with these guys? Is it because they're really small? Okay, so heavy bolter at the men in the tower. Plasma gun into the tank. I'm going to risk it and overcharge. No ones. Yeah, no. Using the last command point. Okay, 2 hits.
4+.
1.
6. Oh.
2 damage. Just 2.
Solid shooting phase from Chris, but he's really going to do some work here in his assault phase.
The chaplain will charge the Lord Commissar. And then the Terminators will string out between the company commander and this Leman Russ here.
And are those guys?
And those guys are going to try and punch that tank.
Chris has managed to get in and tie him up, and at the end of the turn, we've got a score of 1-0 Chris, but he's out of command points, and Matthew is down to just a single command point remaining. On to turn 4, and let's see what Matthew can do. So it looks like going into this turn here, Matthew has to be able to shift those Terminators off the center and get his infantry squad in there. If he can't get rid of those Terminators, there's no way he's going to be able to hold that objective, and that's pretty much going to mean the game for him. He might be able to sneak in and get a line breaker then and make this close, but if he can't shift those Terminators, the counter assault that Chris has is going to wipe his guard squad, and that's going to be the game for Matthew.
Okay, everything else is going to stay still. These 2 tanks into that unit, and then we'll see how we go. 3, I'll reroll 1 and a 1, still 3 shots. No, nothing. Supercharged turret, executioner turret will shoot them, and the 3 heavy bolters against him. 4 save.
Oh, he's gone.
This is what it comes down to, folks. He's put 2 wounds on those Terminators with Meltas, and if the Termies cannot save it, then they're toast, and Matthew's going to be able to get in on that objective. Chris rolls. Boxcars, double 6s. Those Terminators survive. Without clearing them off that objective, that infantry squad cannot possibly hold that objective.
Nothing happens.
I think we'll call it there, Chris.
I think we'll call it there.
Great game.
Thank you very much, man. That was a lot of fun.
A real pleasure.
So they have decided to call the game there. We're going to call that a final of 7-0 in Chris's favor. That's 2 objectives and a first blood point. The most Matthew can hope to score here is going to be that single objective in the middle. So with the game a foregone conclusion, the gentlemen have decided that that's it. The Goblin Guard will come back to fight on another day. It's in no way indicative of how close this game really was. Both players had an opportunity here to pull this one out. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Special thanks to our players Matthew and Chris, and to the Garage Games and Geekery for the recording space. Until next time you see us in the grimdark universe of the far-flung future, play on.